was a down candle. And what I want to also talk about is that we're threatening a major trend line coming in here under 104.50. So we got through the 105.40, which is something I talked about with this channel line being tested. The next one comes in at 104.60. Okay, and that you also have this moving average coming in here. I do expect a breakdown. Of course, we could bounce at any time, but I would call this a pretty negative week in the dollar. Damage done is pretty good. You know, it's still a failing rally. Here's your second consecutive lower high. And now we'll see if we can make some lower lows. First lower low in a while, basically since the end of last year. And here's this major trend line coming in at 104.50 with the moving average being on the daily, the 200-day coming in right around the same level as the trend line. I've been talking about a 102 target eventually, maybe in the weeks ahead, for being the next important target before we get any kind of rebound in the dollar. So this looks to be manifesting in all ways. You know, you guys know that I said last week I was going to stay short the Canadian because it had nothing to do with the French election. And here we are again testing the 136 level. So multiple tests at 136. And the analogy I would use is if you're putting your shoulder into the door and you keep banging the door, it begins to weaken until it finally opens up. So, you know, here's one, here's another couple tests of 36, here's another test of 36, here's another test of 36. And we may try and hold and maybe even bounce a little bit, but the structure has been attacked so many times that I'm expecting a breakdown under 136 last week. This week I said really the move doesn't begin until we get that breakdown under 136. And to me, you know, I was shorting it into the BOC lowering rates and tried to pop. I think it was probably this candle here. So, you know, pretty good levels. And this will be an add-on under 136 for me. Japanese yen is starting to run out of a little bit of mo. Uh, we're not going to get a 2-week reversal unless something really dramatic happens. But, you know, there are people saying that we can still make new highs up towards 164, but you have to keep your mind open for a move down to 158 because, you know, there usually is a correlation in the U.S. dollar yen with what's happening in yields. And yields after last week's pop right here. And on Wednesday, I said you could sell, you know, you could buy notes, which means, you know, yields shouldn't get through this 455 level. And here we are pulling back pretty dramatically. TLT had a nice up day. We'll see what happens from here. You know, there still is a chance that maybe we pull back, but this could have been enough. I certainly did not get long here, so this rally here has happened without me. Talked about the euro pound putting in a very classic chart pattern where you have a major breakdown at 85. We came back and checked it and working lower, which explains cable's outperformance. Cable's support level at 2620 was identified before we got there. The only thing that happened that wasn't talked about is that we didn't just have one test, we retested it again, but the level was still important, and prices did reject and came off and rallied off of this 126.20 level. You know, take a look at the weekly, and we're on the verge of what could be a pretty important breakout. So you have the 200-week moving average coming in right above these highs. So it's a pretty nice formation. If you just take it from here, which was 131, and take it here, call it 121, that's 10 handles. That could give you 138 eventually on a breakout over these moving averages. You guys know I favored the commodity currencies. Canada never even gave up the ghost. I talked about it just being consolidation before another leg up. I still think Canada looks good. There's more to the upside, and you still have to be in the buy the dip mode in Canada. All right, so let's address the gold. So the lower yields and the gold. Look at this. We came back and checked the triangle breakout. Looks like we want to make a high. Um, we're still pretty far away from making new highs in the gold. I did not go ahead and I was waiting for lower levels, basically in the gold miners. The gold silver ratio told us that silver was the preferred long because here you are, we had a flag and it's breaking down, and we should challenge and take out these lows. Um, Looking at miners, just something to consider is that the GDX here is going to open up around 36. Still could be a failing rally here and a potential right shoulder now. This shoulder came in at 570, and then this would be a neckline. Um, we start doing much better than, uh, these levels. We could make a new high, but the caveat is we make a new high, we'll have a three drive to a top formation. So I'm still holding back. Maybe I'll miss this wave. It won't be the first one I missed. And then silver, we had this breakout over the flag, right? So it depends how you draw your line. So draw it here, and we have a breakout over this line. Caveat being here in silver, even if we make new lows, it will be a three drive to a top formation above these highs at 33. So there could be another couple bucks up here, but I don't know, depending upon what the RSI looks, if we end up with a 1, 2, 3 up here. So that's really the rundown on the board. The successful call was in the dollar. You were all prepped for it. You were prepped to go ahead and buy um, Euro, cable, Aussie, short Canada. Shorting the yen has been, more difficult. It's been much more stubborn. But we have a lot of, we got the dollar direction right. We got yields right by Wednesday. And that's a pretty good week for me. And I hope it was for you. Just a couple other things I want to touch upon, and that's the S&Ps here. So the S&Ps on the daily, uh, they're not confirming. I remember when I was talking to Mike, I said, well, I expected a pullback. We didn't get a pullback, just some sideways action. I said, but I don't think it's a high because we confirmed the high. We're no longer confirming the high there in the S&P. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. That too is not confirming highs that we had back here at the last high. NASDAQ, same thing. NASDAQ on the daily, pretty glaring divergence. You see that? I know it's a shade over 70, but pretty glaring. And I added on to my SQQ call position in December, the 10 calls on Friday. We'll see what happens. I do believe that we're going to have we do have some divergence in the SQQ. Maybe we go 750. We'll see. Be alert for reversals happening here in SQQ. And the VIX never got down to the 12 level for 3 drive. Maybe that happens next week. That's going to be a trade that I'm going to take, maybe with December call options on the VIX. And one other thing that the market is completely ignoring, and something I talked about, I said that I believe the S&Ps and NASDAQ could make new highs, which they have. It looks like we could get a reversal date today, right? So they both made new highs. And I said that all we would get is a fib retracement in the Dow. 39.6 was my area. So I know a lot of people, I guess it doesn't matter anymore, but it shows, the concentration is still all in the mega caps, and they all look pretty stretched to me. Okay. Looking at SMH, no, it's going to come in a little higher, but are we going to make a new high? The RSI would augur for yes. XLF still can't get to the 42 level. I think if we do have problems down the road, it's going to be the banks. KRE put in a pretty negative day on Wednesday. Oh, yeah, I also want to draw your attention to my target in Bitcoin. See the blue line? It was attacked today, so I'm not saying buy it, but if you were short from when I was talking about it up here, feeling that it could retest this line, would be a magnet, that's been accomplished. So you want to cover your shorts at the minimum. I don't know if you want to reverse here. So hope that you've learned some things and was able to help you with calling the dollar accurately. And that included getting out of the way. And the toughest thing for traders to do is recommit at a price that is above where they got out of their longs, or if it's the other way, like the short the dollar, lower price than they covered their prior shorts. So that was the big lesson for the week. And as you can see, if I had not had recommitted and waited for the market to come back under levels that I was previously long or short from, I would have missed a pretty good week. So take that to heart. That's one of the toughest things for a trader to do, is to recommit to the same trade they've gotten out of. So good hunting. Enjoy your weekend. Do your work over the weekend, and we'll be back next week. I'm going to have Adam Button Wednesday from Forex Live with us to talk currencies, and he has a unique perspective on the Canadian. He lives in Canada, so we'll have Adam with us next week. I'm looking forward to that conversation. I'm sure Mike will be on in a little while. So remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings.